foods. Russia, actually, it's a felony to grow genetically modified foods. So GMOs aside, and that's another thing. I mean, I tell people you got to get GMO foods out of your diet, right? We didn't genetically modify seeds to increase yield. We modified seeds to be resistant to glyphosate, right? The poison and pesticides. But if you go back to the folic acid and seed oils for that matter, but if you go back to the folic acid theory, if we stopped spraying our grains just for 30 days, don't even stop eating white bread, white flour, white pasta, white rice, or grains if that's what you eat. I don't eat any of those things, but if that's what you eat, don't stop eating them. Just switch to the organic, non-fortified, non-enriched version and watch what happens to your mood, your focus, your concentration, your short-term recall, the depth of your sleep, and your waking mind at night.
But the vast majority of wheat and rice and things that you do buy will have been enriched with folic acid.
All of it in the United States is, unless it's organic.
Wow. So if someone's buying a sandwich and you're getting it on regular bread, you're just getting a heap of folic acid.
Getting a heap of folic acid.
A bowl of pasta, you're getting a heap of folic acid.
Mm-hmm. Bowl of rice that's not organic, heap of folic acid.
And your body's like, what the fuck is this?
Your body's like, what the fuck? Just pay attention to your mood after you eat high amounts of some of those things.
Oh, believe me, I'm very aware. It's my number one weakness.
Yeah.
My number one weakness is bread and pasta. Like, so, if I do go off the rails with a diet, like I have a cheat day, that's what I cheat with.
Okay. So try next time you go off the rails eating non-fortified, non-enriched pasta, rice, bread, flour.
Well, I have absolutely noticed that when I've gone to Italy.
Yeah.
100% notice it. You
that's
eat the
why.
Pasta, it just seems normal. It does, like, you know, I hear about a lot of people that have gluten allergies and gluten intolerances, and now I'm wondering, like, what does that mean?
Well, the foods that contain gluten, very often the foods that contain folic acid. Remember,
Right.
44%. This happens to pregnant women too, right? You know, postpartum depression, which for the record can begin before the pregnancy is over. Sometimes I get slaughtered online for saying, oh, you're talking about postpartum depression before the pregnancy ends. Yes, the diagnosis of postpartum depression happens very often before the pregnancy is carried to term. So 44% of women have this gene mutation. What's the first thing their OBGYN tells them to do when they get pregnant? Take high doses of folic acid. Well, 44% of them can't process this folic acid. So what happens?
Why did they tell them to take high doses of folic acid?
Because they're told that folic acid prevents neural tube defects, which is patently false. Folic acid doesn't prevent anything. Methylfolate prevents neural tube defects.
Are they told to take it in supplemental form? Are they told to take it in form of foods that are sprayed with folic acid?
They're told to take it in supplemental form. If you look at the majority of cheap prenatal vitamins, right, the good ones, like Thorne, Pure Encapsulation, some of these big, really good big brands, they will have methylated versions of vitamins, right?
Okay.
They'll take the folic acid out.
Right.
Because what happens if you're pregnant, you have this gene mutation, MTHFR. Number one, you have a skyrocketing incidence of miscarriage. But then because you don't have the methylfolate that your body needs for the adhesion of the egg into implant into the uterine wall. But now she's pregnant and she starts to take a prenatal vitamin with 1,400, 1,600% of the daily allowance of folic acid. She starts to go nuts, right? Develops postpartum depression. Eventually the pregnancy ends. She stops taking the prenatal vitamin and the symptoms go away, but she still blames it on the pregnancy, not on the vitamin.
Whoa.
The truth is I have yet to see a peer-reviewed published clinical study linking pregnancy hormones to postpartum depression.
Now, is